Israel, Iran and Hezbollah are now in a deadly conflict, with the potential of nuclear weapons changing our world forever. How did we get here? What happens next? And what does it mean for biblical prophecy?
This is an emergency alert from Jerusalem, Israel. We are interrupting all broadcasts and media. A nuclear attack against Israel is imminent. The current threat level is critical. Immediately proceed to the nearest underground bunker. Your survival depends on your adherence to these instructions.
It can't happen, you know that. But they also said Iran would never directly attack Israel.
Major escalation of the crisis in the Middle East. Iran has started a direct attack on Israel by launching dozens of drones to attack targets there. Israel says its armed forces are on full alert with combat planes in the air. Iran has said it wants revenge.
Israel has been under siege for years, attacked in all directions by Iran's proxies, and the United States has told Israel to hold its peace for years. But now, these attacks have escalated into the beginning of an all-out war. Hezbollah in Lebanon, backed by Iran, has sent thousands of missiles into northern Israel in recent times, and most of these attacks go unreported. How did we get here? Leaders like Obama, Biden and Harris thought Iran could be restrained by concessions, but Netanyahu and Trump say all of these concessions have emboldened Iran to deepen its attacks on Israel.
كما قلت وفي كل مرة أكرر إن دماء الأطفال والنساء والشيوخ نحن الذين نحتاج هذه الدماء لكي توقظ فينا روح الثورة.
Its proxies are concentrated in Lebanon, Yemen, Syria, Iraq, and elsewhere. Lebanon. Hezbollah in Lebanon is backed by Iran and work to further its interests, especially against their arch-rival Israel. Now to Syria, where Iran's regional impact is huge. Tehran has provided Assad's regime with billions of dollars and thousands of troops. Iran's proxies are not limited to these groups. There's a whole region known as the Shia Crescent, an arc of Iranian influence with large Shia populations reaching from Saudi Arabia to Lebanon.
Around 80,000 Israelis have been evacuated from border villages because they are being hit by missiles and anti-tank fire every day. In Israel now, many people will tell you that it is when, not if, they go to war with Hezbollah.
Lebanon has Syria, borders with Syria. Syria has borders with Iraq. Iraq has borders with Iran, and therefore the ability for Iran to supply it with weapons.
The Center for Strategic and International Studies calls Hezbollah the most heavily armed non-state military in the world, and upwards of 150,000 short, medium, and long-range rockets.
This whole thing was designed and built in preparation for the next conflict. A car park in peacetime, a fortified hospital during war.
This door is a door of 24 tons that we can close, and this is also protection for chemical warfare.
Iran has been ramping up pressure on Israel, attacking them daily through their proxies. And all the time, Iran has been trying to develop nuclear weapons. But this is not a battle against flesh and blood, but against principalities in the heavenly realms that do not want Israel to survive, nor for the messianic prophecies to be fulfilled. Close to 2,500 years ago in Persia, modern-day Iran, Haman committed himself to destroying all the Jews in the Persian Empire. But God called Esther and Mordecai to intercede on behalf of the Jews for their survival. But the cost was high, and both were threatened with death for standing with God's will. God's plan is outworked through people who side with the Lord against the hidden evil in this world. And that's why the spirit of Haman always attacks the people that God is using, including those in the political realm who support Israel without bitter conditions attached. The devil is ever seeking to kill, steal and destroy the Mordecais and Esthers who stand with Israel against evil. The Bible says the whole world lies under the sway of the wicked one, who is called the prince of the power of the air, the spirit who now works in the sons of disobedience. In every spiritual struggle in this world, evil is looking for a channel to work through. Evil is ever looking for a new Haman to destroy Israel, and God is looking for the new Esthers and Mordecais to stand with God's will in this world. The Iran nuclear deal and other concessions have strengthened Iran's hand in its attempt to destroy Israel and God's plans for it.
On a very consistent basis, I receive classified briefings about the threats to our nation's security. And on the list of potential threats, especially in terms of nuclear threat, North Korea is, of course, on that list, and Iran is on that list.
Would a president here has fixed the problem?
Well, frankly, I believe that we need to get back into the Iran nuclear deal.
Giving $6 billion to the world's leading state sponsor of terrorism, just as when Obama sent the Iranian regime pallets of cash, Biden's ransom payment will be immediately used to stoke violence, bloodshed, and mayhem throughout the Middle East and all around the world, costing countless innocent lives.
President Biden is warning Israel U.S. policy towards its staunch ally will change. The direct message coming during a phone call between the president and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu.
That in the past few months, the administration has been withholding weapons and ammunition to Israel. Israel, America's closest ally, fighting for its life, fighting against Iran and our other common enemies. During World War II, Churchill told the United States, "Give us the tools, we'll do the job." And I say, give us the tools and we'll finish the job.
Having the breakout capacity of producing fissile material for a nuclear weapon is now probably 1 or 2 weeks away from doing that. They haven't produced a weapon itself, but that's something, of course, that we track very, very carefully. Those two things together, the fissile material, an explosive device, and you have a nuclear weapon.
When will the lesson be learned? How many more dictators must be wooed, appeased before we learn? You cannot reason with a tiger when your head is in its mouth.
Iran is edging the world closer to a crisis unlike anything ever seen in the Middle East, with the Hezbollah war attacking the north of Israel and the promise from Iran that it will take any chance it can to annihilate Israel. The spirit of Haman has arisen again in the nuclear age, and Netanyahu is clear. Whatever the cost, they will never allow Iran to develop a nuclear weapon that could be used against Israel.
Israel fights Hamas, we're fighting Iran. When we fight Hezbollah, we're fighting Iran. When we fight the Houthis, we're fighting Iran. And when we fight Iran, we're fighting the most radical and murderous enemy of the United States of America. And one more thing. When Israel acts to prevent Iran from developing nuclear weapons that could destroy Israel and threaten every American city, every city that you come from, we're not only protecting ourselves, we're protecting you.
That was Benjamin Netanyahu's way of telling the United States that after years of patiently being attacked and restraint, Israel will destroy Iran's nuclear site on its own if it has to. And Israel will do anything necessary to avoid the following from taking place.
This is an emergency alert from Jerusalem, Israel. We are interrupting all broadcasts and media. This is not a drill. A nuclear attack against Israel is imminent. The current threat level is critical. Immediately proceed to the nearest underground bunker and prepare for a prolonged wait. Nuclear strikes cause deadly dust known as fallout, which will affect everyone. You will not be allowed to leave your location for at least 14 days. The defense systems of Israel, the United States, and Great Britain are engaging the threat, but the likelihood of intercepting all nuclear missiles is limited. Stay in your shelter and listen for further instructions. I repeat, this is not a drill. A nuclear strike is imminent. Your survival depends on your adherence to these instructions.